In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to crochet the Suzette stitch. Really lovely stitch, you get a very nice texture with it. It's not the same on the front as it is on the back because it is a super easy one row repeated pattern. So for this tutorial I'm using Stylecraft DK, I think it's the colourway Lavender. I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook because I like things to be a little bit drapier and I like to have room to move around with my crochet hook. I have a pair of scissors to cut off my ends when I've finished and a darning needle to sew in my ends when it's all done. So let's have a look at the tutorial. So we're going to start off with the foundation chain, and you can do your slip knot in whichever way you prefer. And we're going to make a foundation chain in multiples of 2. So you don't count the one on the hook, yarn over and pull through, that's one chain, yarn over, pull through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go up to 18 with my multiple of 2. You can make yours as long as you wish your project to be. So pause the video now. So there's my foundation chain of 18 stitches, that's a multiple of 2. And we're going to start our first row. Now our first row starts in the second chain from the hook. So we don't count the one on the hook. So 1, 2, that's the second chain. And in there we're going to do a double crochet and a treble. So we're going to insert, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. Then we're going to do a treble, so we're going to yarn over, insert, yarn over again and pull the yarn through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So I'm using UK terminology. In US you'd be doing a single crochet and a double crochet. So we're going to skip a chain, and then the next chain we're going to do the same cluster. So insert to make a double crochet, yarn over and insert to make your treble. Skip a stitch, working into the next stitch with a double crochet and a treble. Skip a stitch, into the next stitch, double crochet and a treble, and we're going to work this way all the way along the row. So skip a stitch, in the next stitch do a double crochet and a treble in the same stitch or in the same chain. So carry on to the end of your row and I'll join you when you get to your last 2 chains. So we've got to our last 2 chains and we're going to skip that first chain, and in the very last chain we're going to do 1 double crochet. And there we have row 1. So for row 2 then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And right at the very base of our chain 1, there's the chain 1 there, we're going to do a double crochet and a treble into that stitch. So double crochet and a treble. We're going to skip a stitch, and in the next stitch going to do a double crochet and a treble. Skip a stitch, in the next stitch double crochet and a treble, skip a stitch, in the next stitch double crochet and a treble, oops, haven't quite got all the yarn on there we go, and our treble. So we're going to continue all the way down the row doing skip a stitch, double crochet and treble in the next stitch, skip a stitch, double crochet and treble in the next stitch, and I will join you just as you're getting towards the end of your row. So pause the video now. So we're coming up to the end of the row here, and this is where we've got to be very careful. So our last stitch actually looks like it's curving round the corner. Now ordinarily I tell you not to do that, not to crochet into the side of a stitch, but that is actually the stitch there. You can see the two parts if you pull those up. So we're going to skip a stitch, and into the very last stitch we're going to do a double crochet. Now you might find it easier to put a stitch marker in the first and the last of the row just so you don't miss that very last double crochet of the row. And that's how to do the second row, and the second row is the row that you repeat all the way through. So we start that off with a chain one and turn, and then right at the base of that chain one we do a double crochet and a treble into the same stitch, skip a stitch, double crochet and treble into the same stitch. So I'm going to work up a few more rows and I shall see you in a moment. So I've just worked up a few more rows for you to see how it looks. It's a lovely texture to it. You can see your sort of little clusters going off in little zigzags. Very, very pretty pattern indeed. Be really nice for scarves because you've got the same repeated pattern, so it's the same on the front as on the back. So that's how to do the Suzette stitch. Really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up because it helps the algorithm to show it to other crocheters. I'll pop 2 more videos on the side of the screen here to help you on your crochet journey, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!